So as we speak, the Los Angeles District Attorney is giving an update on the Menendez brothers murder case, saying in just the last couple of minutes that his team has a moral and an ethical obligation to review new evidence given to them.
The Menendez brothers are currently serving their sentences for the murder of their parents. With their story now featured in Netflix's Monsters, some may be curious about when, or if, they'll be released. In this video, we'll dive deeper into that question and explore the details surrounding their release date. The Menendez brothers' case has regained significant attention following the release of Netflix's Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story. The 9-episode series recounts the 1989 murders of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, in Beverly Hills, along with the brothers' arrest and trial. For those curious about where the Menendez brothers are now, they remain in prison, serving life sentences. As the series delves into the horrific experiences that Erik and Lyle claim led them to commit the murders, many viewers may wonder if they will ever be released. With Monsters continuing to captivate and shock audiences, we've gathered all the details about the likelihood of their release, how long they've been in prison, and whether a new trial could happen. Erik and Lyle Menendez were each sentenced to life in prison for the murders of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, with no possibility of parole. Initially, the brothers were tried separately, but both juries failed to reach a unanimous verdict. It wasn't until several years later that they were retried together and found guilty, though the judge excluded evidence of abuse from their defense. Their sentencing occurred in 1996, 6 years after the murders, and the brothers have been incarcerated ever since. They have now served 28 years for these shocking crimes, though they have been behind bars for over 3 decades, as they were arrested in 1990. For most of this time, Lyle and Erik were in separate prisons, but in 2018 they were reunited and have since been housed at the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in California. So far, the Menendez brothers have not been granted a new trial, but the release of Netflix's Monsters has reignited conversations about whether their convictions could be overturned or reduced. Despite criticism from the Menendez family, who called the series riddled with mistruths and outright falsehoods, co-creator Ryan Murphy believes it's the best thing that has happened to the Menendez brothers in 30 years. They're now being talked about by millions of people worldwide. There's even a documentary about them coming out on Netflix in 2 weeks, Murphy told Variety. What's interesting is that it's prompting people to ask, should they get a new trial? Should they be released? What happens in society when people are locked away for life? Is there no chance for rehabilitation? He continued, I think it's sparking important discussions. It's giving the brothers another trial in the court of public opinion, and from what I can see, it's opening the door to the possibility that their new evidence might offer a path forward for them. Over the years, Lyle and Erik Menendez have tried to appeal their sentences several times. However, these appeals have never been successful. The brothers' defense attorney Cliff Gardner is seeking to secure their release from prison in light of supposed new evidence. This apparently supports the brothers' claim that they committed the crimes in self-defense after years of alleged emotional, sexual, and physical abuse. It's been suggested that it would be up to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office whether to retry the brothers' case if a judge believes the new evidence is credible. Amid the success and controversy surrounding Netflix's Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, there's a major development in the Menendez brothers' case. A new court hearing for Erik and Lyle Menendez has been scheduled for November 29, 2024, nearly 3 decades after their conviction for the murders of their parents. Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascon announced in a press conference on October that he believes the brothers' case deserves to be re-evaluated following the discovery of new evidence and questions regarding the testimony permitted during their second trial. The new evidence supports the brothers' claim that they were allegedly molested by their father, Jose Menendez. It includes a letter the brothers' defense attorney Cliff Gardner says was written by Erik to his cousin, Andy Cano, in December 1988, about 8 months before the crime. We have been given evidence. We have been given a photocopy of a letter that allegedly was sent by one of the brothers to another family member talking about him being the victim of molestation, Gascon said at the press conference. We've also got evidence that was provided by the defense, by his lawyers, that one of the members of the Menudo band alleged that he was molested by the father.
Photocopy of a letter that allegedly was sent by one of the brothers to another family member talking about him being the victim.
On April 2023, Roy Rosselló, a former member of the Puerto Rican boy band Menudo, alleged that Erik and Lyle's father, Jose, sexually assaulted him as a teenager. In a sworn affidavit filed in 2023, Rosselló said he visited Jose Menendez's home in the fall of 1983 or 1984 as a teenager. Rosselló said he drank a glass of wine and then felt like he had no control over his body. The band member alleged that Jose took him to a room and R-worded him. Rosselló also stated in the affidavit that Jose sexually abused him in 2 other instances. "I know what he did to me in his house," Rosselló said in the Peacock docuseries Menendez plus Menudo, Boys Betrayed. "That's the man here that R-worded me. That's the pedophile." The new hearing could lead to a retrial for Erik and Lyle, but there hasn't been any decisions yet. "We're not ready to say we fully believe or disbelieve the new information at this point," Gascon stated, "but we have a moral and ethical obligation to review what's been presented and determine whether, despite their clear guilt in the murders, the Menendez brothers deserve to be resentenced. They've been in prison for years and have repaid their debt to society." He added, "If evidence was withheld from the court back then, and if presented could have led to a different verdict, we need to take that into account." On August 20th, 1989, Jose and Kitty Menendez were found shot multiple times in their Beverly Hills home. Lyle and Erik, aged 21 and 18 at the time, claimed they discovered their parents' bodies after coming home. By March 1990, they were arrested for first-degree murder after confessing to the crime on tape. The jury convicted the brothers of first-degree murder, sentencing them to life without parole. Their convictions were upheld by the California Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court of California in 1998 and 1999, with subsequent appeals to federal courts being denied. In May 2023, defense attorney Cliff Gardner filed a habeas petition on the brothers' behalf, introducing new evidence, including Erik's letter and Roy Rosselló's affidavit, as part of their defense. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office is currently investigating these claims. Kim Kardashian, an American media personality, has publicly called for the release of Lyle and Erik Menendez. "I've spent time with Lyle and Erik. They're not monsters," she said on October 3rd. "They're kind, intelligent, and honest men." Kardashian, who met the brothers at their San Diego prison on September 21st, along with Monsters actor Cooper Koch, praised their exemplary behavior while incarcerated. She also noted that more than 24 family members have supported their release. "One of the wardens told me he'd feel comfortable having them as neighbors," she added. While Kardashian called for the re-evaluation of their case, she made it clear she wasn't excusing the crime. "The killings are not excusable. Let's be clear," she said. "Nor is their behavior before, during, or after the crime. But we can't ignore who they are today, now in their 50s. I don't believe spending their entire lives in prison is the right punishment for such a complex case. If this trial happened today, I believe the outcome would be dramatically different." Actor Cooper Koch, who portrayed Erik Menendez in the popular Netflix drama, described the brothers as upstanding individuals after spending time with them. "They committed the crime when they were just 18 and 21 years old," Koch said. "At that time, it was hard for people to accept the idea of male-on-male sexual abuse, especially between a father and son. But 35 years later, we have much more awareness and evidence of child sexual abuse, and I believe they deserve a retrial." While Ryan Murphy isn't planning a second season of Netflix's Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, he's not entirely done with the case. He expressed interest in producing 1 or 2 additional episodes to continue the story if actors Nicholas Alexander Chavez and Cooper Koch agree to reprise their roles. Chavez and Koch star as Lyle and Erik, respectively, in the series, which follows the brothers' conviction and life sentences for the first-degree murders of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez, in 1989. The upcoming hearing could potentially lead to a retrial for Lyle and Erik. The ongoing review of the Menendez brothers' case raises significant questions about justice, rehabilitation, and societal perceptions of crime. Given the new evidence and allegations of abuse, it might be time to reconsider their situation. While they committed a heinous act, understanding the psychological and emotional trauma they endured could warrant a reassessment of their sentences. The recent Netflix documentary sheds light on their story, sparking vital discussions about male-on-male sexual abuse and the complexities of their actions. This heightened awareness could help the public grapple with the nuances of their case and whether they deserve a chance for freedom after decades in prison. Do you think it's time the brothers are freed? And what do you think of the recent Netflix documentary covering their case? Leave your comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there.